Hey friends, Ash here with gentsscents. Hope you're doing really well. It's a great day outside, so I decided let's film out there. I'm not in the dungeon anymore. Yes. We are getting closer to the halfway point of the year, so I figured let's go ahead and go over some of the best releases of the year so far. Maybe I'll do a video here in the near future where I talk about some of the releases that are not so good. And by that I mean total crap. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's go over some of the best releases of 2021. Let's go ahead and start things off with sort of an honorable mention. It was between this one and the one that actually came in at number 5, and my wife was the tiebreaker, or she was the one that decided which one was number 5. So honorable mention and sort of number 6, Bad Boy Le Parfum from Carolina Herrera. Yeah, the bottle's tacky and I didn't really like the original, but this one I like a good amount. It's actually solid. This one has cannabis, grapefruit, leather, and vetiver. That's some of the notes in the fragrance. And I would wager that most people are interested in that cannabis note. Does it smell like weed? Actually, I have no clue. You can pick out what they're pitching as that cannabis note in the opening. It's got this nice green aromatic feel. It's actually pretty unique as far as designer fragrances go, and at the same time, it's a nice attention grabber. It still does retain some of that bad boy DNA from the original, but it's much more unique, much better done, and smells better too. The opening is the best part of the fragrance, but my wife didn't like this one quite as much as she liked number 5, and like I said, she decided that one. I decided all the others. She decided that one. So what is number 5? It's this one, the One Luminous Night from Dolce & Gabbana. This one is a little bit difficult to find. I bought it from Harrods. So it came from the UK, and I had to pay a pretty sizable amount for shipping from Harrods. And that, as of this video, is the only place that I'm aware of that people in the US could have picked this up. Now, all that being said, it will eventually pop up at discounters. When? Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. But eventually it will, just like the One Royal Night and the One Mysterious Night before it. This one has sandalwood, it has dates, it's got incense, amber, and pepper, and the date note here is really what helps set this one off. It's very sweet. It's got a little touch of smoke in there from the incense, but not too much. The amber really helps tie it in with the original fragrances in the One line. And like those fragrances, this one is great for compliments and great for date nights. Yeah, the fragrance with dates as a note is great for dates. Big drawback from this one is going to be how difficult, as of right now, it is to find in the US. And like I said, when you do find it, you're gonna have to pay extra for shipping, which means this fragrance is gonna end up running you pretty close to what most niche fragrances would run you at discounters. Yeah, it's rough. The fragrance itself, though, is really appealing. So if you're looking for something that's gonna grab attention, this one right here will do it for you. And I would say between the One Royal Night, the One Mysterious Night, and the One Luminous Night, that this one probably the easiest to wear of the bunch. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best of the bunch. I think a lot of people would say the One Mysterious Night is, but in terms of just wearability, versatility, I think this one's easier to pull off. Number 4 from Emporio Armani, Stronger With You, absolutely. It's got chestnut, vanilla, rum, and lavender as some of the notes in the fragrance. And it seems like with me, every Stronger With You fragrance I smell, I like more than the one before it. It's kind of weird. The original Stronger With You came out and I smelled it and I thought, yeah, solid, not too bad. Intensely came out, ooh, better. Wow, Stronger With You Freeze. I actually liked more than Intensely. I thought, wow, this is cool. You got this nice icy opening and then it dries down and becomes warmer. Good. Then the leather edition, really like that one. And then absolutely my favorite so far. A lot of times fragrances go the opposite way of that. The original is the best. And then the flankers come out and they continuously get more derivative, more boring, just worse overall. But here, it's the opposite. So of course, you have that chestnut in here that ties it in with all the other Stronger With You fragrances, but then you get a nice boozy sweetness from the rum and frankly, additional sweetness from the vanilla. This one is fantastic for pulling attention. It's got very good performance and it is killer in cool weather, which is not right now. Most all the fragrances on this list are better in fall and winter. So 2021, can you kick me some solid summertime fragrances? Thanks. Next up is from Paco Rabanne. It is Invictus Victory in the really stupid looking 200 milliliter bottle that I chose to buy for some reason. This is one of those circumstances where at the time it made sense, and now I'm looking at this thing going, no, I'm never gonna use all that. When I bought this, they had the 200 ml size bottle right here for like $10 more than the 100 ml. And I thought, hey man, that's a great deal. And it was a great deal, but now I've got this. Actually, let's do a giveaway, a decant giveaway of Invictus Victory for this video. I wasn't planning on that, but we'll just roll with it. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Vanilla, tonka, lavender, and lemon are some of the notes in the fragrance. Now, Invictus is not a fragrance line I'm in love with, okay? I don't really dig it a lot. I understand the appeal, okay? I get it, compliments, attention, grabbing nature, mass appeal, great for young guys, bubble gum. Yeah, I get it. And I would be lying to you guys if I said that I've never smelled Invictus and been like, yeah, it smells good, because I definitely have. But when there have been so many fragrances that have come out that smell similar to Invictus, actually made a whole video on this, Invictus, please stop having children. When that happens, it gets to be too much. It's an overload. So when a new Invictus gets announced, I'm skeptical that I'm gonna like it. But this one, I dig a lot. It's because it doesn't really smell very much like Invictus. So for me, it's a win. It's a victory. What? You've got freshness in the opening, of course, lemon and lavender, but this one really is about that warmth and sweetness in the dry down with the tonka and the vanilla. They come out actually pretty early on, but smell really good, very inviting. So if you're a huge fan of Invictus, if you're a fan of that bubble gum, then yeah, maybe this one won't do it for you, because you're gonna smell it and go, man, that's not the Invictus I know. That's not the Invictus I love. But for people like me, I smell it and I go, oh, it's slightly different. Thank you. I'll take it. And I do dig it. It's nice, nice. Invictus Victory. Number 3, another black bottle, YSL Y Le Parfum. It's got apple, aldehydes, sage, lavender, and tonka as some of the notes in the fragrance. This one, in my opinion, is the best in the Y line. It's my favorite one. Now, I'll tell you, my wife still prefers the eau de parfum. I talked about that in the review of this fragrance. I had her smell these side by side numerous times where I ambushed her. I would have one on one arm, one on the other. I would just creep up and just be like, woof, what's that smell like? Do you like it? And then I'd come around the other way. What about this one? Which one's better? And every time, every single time, the eau de parfum won. And that's not an exaggeration, okay? It wasn't one of those things where, yeah, the eau de parfum won 60% of the time, 70% of the time, and then you go, oh, it won every time. No, it won every single time. She prefers the eau de parfum, it's not close. This one for me is slightly more grown up than the eau de parfum, but it retains that compliment factor, it retains that versatility. The eau de parfum is a sweeter fragrance overall, so if you do prefer something like that, the eau de parfum would probably be more up your alley. But I really like what they've done with Le Parfum. It's not enormously different. You can definitely tell it's a Y fragrance. It's not one of those scents that comes out and it does something drastically different. Not that. It's a fragrance that's, tweaking things, turning the knob a little bit here and there, but leaving everything else pretty unchanged. I really like it. I like it a lot. Y Le Parfum, number 2. Number 1 is a fragrance that caught me by surprise. I was sure it was going to be terrible. Absolutely sure. If you would have asked me, even as I was placing the order to buy it, hey, do you think this is gonna be good? I would have been like, is water wet? It is wet. Well, that's not what I meant. Yes, it's gonna suck. But then I got it in the mail and I sprayed it on and I was wrong. It is really, really good. Light Blue Forever by Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Grapefruit, violet, vetiver, and musk. It is all about the opening with this fragrance. And I would say for the vast majority of light blue fragrances, if not all of them, it's really about that opening. You need to be captured by the opening. Most of them utilize citrus, and some of the times the citrus is not good. That's putting it lightly. Italian zest. That one is terrible. You can see it here. Italian zest. I hate it. I hate it. The citrus in this, so bad, so poorly done, so synthetic, so fake. smells almost like a household cleaning product. Like, why would you want to wear that? Now, I understand some people like that fragrance, and if you do, awesome. Off my skin, it is terrible. Light blue, love is love. No, just not good. Sun, better than Italian Zest. Yeah. This one right here dunks on all three of those. It lines all three of those fragrances up and just dunks on them. Posterizes them, destroys them. Light blue forever. This is the one you need. And it's because of that opening, the grapefruit. In here, it's really rindy, it's zesty, it's tart, it's sour, maybe even slightly bitter, but sweet at the same time. Very realistic, it's very realistic. And for some people, that is going to not work for them, just straight up. Some people are gonna smell this, especially if you're maybe newer into fragrances. You're gonna smell it and be like, nah, man, nah. I like that synthetic citrus, give me that please. That's what I like. For most people though, especially if they've been around a minute, they're gonna smell this in the designer fragrance and be like, that is a well done citrus. That is good. As it dries down, still stays pleasant. That citrus lasts for a long time and you get a nice clean vetiver in the dry down, gives it a masculine touch, very modern. It's really well done. This one I was sure was gonna be terrible, and then you know what happened? It punched me in the face and told me, never judge a book by its fragrance line. No, that's a terrible saying too. You get what I'm saying? Keep an open mind, people. Because you might decide you don't like something without ever having smelled it, and you miss out on an awesome scent. Don't do that. There we go, my 5 favorite releases so far of 2021. There are a bunch of releases that have yet to be announced. Who knows what the future holds? And I've got probably 4 more 2021 releases on their way right now. So this list will definitely change, and I'll update it toward the end of the year. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.